Guys, back again. COVID cabal. COVID cabal. We're back. We're back, guys. We're back again. How are we doing? How are we feeling? Feeling a little bit more confident than yesterday, I think, aren't we? Starting to feel that energy come back towards us. Recovering a little bit from the voice is probably the voice is like 95% back. There's a little you might be able to get a little tired, but starting to feel that energy return, aren't we? Starting to feel the tide shifts. Starting to feel a little bit of fear on their end. A little bit of fear on their end. Well, I don't know why I look better. Maybe it's because I just got back from the gym, so maybe that's why. All right, let's survived the first purge. Guys, I gotta tell you, I don't want to jinx anything, but I have felt protected for a while. I don't have the sense I'm going to lose my account. The other thing I want to say, I'm totally open to the idea that it happened. I don't want to jinx anything with it. The other thing, though, is that we're actually very lucky. We're actually very, very lucky that we're using Periscope, okay? I don't know if you guys have noticed, but if you remember from months back, we used to get jammed a little bit here and there. They used to cut out the feed. There used to be sort of issues sometimes with it showing up in the timeline. Nothing like crazy, but we were getting jammed a little bit. That's not really happening anymore. And I bet you it's not happening because they've considered this platform to be old news. So they're not focusing on it anymore. And so we actually have a little bit of an advantage using Periscope, I think, because I think now they don't care about this platform. All their attention is focused elsewhere. So, my thoughts on Biden hitting that gun legislation, even though he's not president. I mean, I this is the thing that gets me so frustrated when I listen to people talk about how, well, we can, like, there's no reason, like, things are going to be okay. We'll get through it. No, you don't get it. You don't get it, guys. Like, these people don't get it. They're going to take away everything. They will take away every single thing. Everything. They will take away everything. Well, you say yes or no, will Biden be inaugurated in 12 days? Is it possible that they will green screen a Biden inauguration from some underground bunker? Yeah, that's possible. They could do that. That doesn't mean that Biden's inaugurated. But you may see an inauguration, a fake inauguration that they try to plaster everywhere. You might see that. But rest assured that that's not going to go without counter response from military figures saying the opposite, that he's not president. So it doesn't matter. No, we're not going to secede and make our own country. We are going to free this country. This is our fucking country. It's our fucking country. And these people are global. There's no way to get away from them. There's no way to get away from them. We are awake across the globe. We're awake across the country in every single state. So we are not seceding from this country. We're not seceding from the country. And guys, if we seceded, they would nuke us. Do you understand that? They would nuke us. They would consider us a threat against the world, and they would nuke us. So we're not seceding. We are winning the fight internally. Okay. Yeah, end of USA Corporation, back to USA Republic. But guys, look, we can't go into it yet. We have to do something first. We have to do a little thing, just a little thing first. We have to talk about the wine tonight. We got to do it. Oh, look at that. Everybody thought we were jumping right into it. And we have to talk about the wine. All right, so last night, but I remember what the wine tasted like from yesterday. Because this is another Pinot Noir from Alto Adige. Now, I just want to tell you a little bit about Alto Adige. Okay, we have here the map. So this is Trentino. Remember, we had Verona goes right here. This was where we had all of Valpolicella. And you go up to Trentino. And look, this place right here is very, very important to me, Mount Paganella, because that's where I proposed to my wife, Mount Paganella. But it's very interesting. This area, it's kind of a mix of Italian and a little more Italian now these days. But this used to be part of Austria. Okay. And when you certainly get into Alto Adige, this is all German. Okay. It's all German, this entire area. All the radios are in German, and it's called South Tyrol, Alto Adige. North Tyrol is right here, and that is actually in Austria. So Italy got it because they wanted to gain possession of the water line. You see this here? The border of Italy up here is where the source of the headwaters come down. So Italy always wanted to control that, even though ethnically they have no Italian population here. So anyway, a little bit of interesting background. This place is actually, despite being so far north, is actually very warm and lovely. It's protected from the cold Alp winds because of the mountains, and it actually, though it's very steep, it's a very, very excellent place to produce grapes, and it has produced grapes for a very long time. It's kind of interesting because it's part of Italy, the population's German, but most of the varietals are actually French. It does a lot of international varietals here. So we're going to be doing some interesting local ones like Kerner and Legrain, which is very interesting. But today we're doing another Pinot Noir, as they call it here, Pinot Nero, right? Pinot Nero. If you say Biden 2020, I'm going to assume you said that sarcastically. Better be sarcastic because you're going to get blocked. You're going to get blocked. Better be sarcastic. So this is nice. Well, it's all right. It's very it's much juicier. You can tell it was very it's very juicy. It's very, very juicy. It felt like you're it's like you like you get into like a juicy cherry. It's just like the juice pouring out, you know? Really interesting. This Pinot Noir is much hotter than the other one. The other one was very delicate, and I preferred it for sure, the one yesterday. But this is good. This is good. So, well, I know I have probably of my own. I don't know. I have maybe. I mean, between my dad and I's wine cellar downstairs. I mean, we easily have over 100 bottles down there, and we replenish them regularly. So, guys, that's the wine for today. We're gonna be doing a lot more wines from Alto Adige. But look, I want to talk about a couple of things. First off, I want to give you an update about what's going on in Italy. This was announced today from a judge in Italy that basically the people who committed this crime against the United States have been arrested. They've been arrested for messing with Leonardo for changing the votes. So no matter what the fucking Mockingbird media tells you in this country, the people who committed the fraud in Italy have been arrested by the Italian government. Do you understand this? They've been arrested by the Italian government. They want to tell you that it's over here. The fraud didn't happen. There are people who are arrested in Italy for it. Okay? And from what I understand, the conservative government or the conservative politicians there who have been really pushing for this, there is a big push to do this for America. And I've heard that a lot of it, and it really warms my heart, a lot of it, the conservative politicians in Italy see this as a way to repay America for World War II. Okay? That they are going to blow the lid on their own country, their own government, for what happened here. Okay, so the pieces are all falling into place. I want to make a point about this, though, if you have to read between the lines. So the Italians did this today, but remember I mentioned that the reason that things were taking so long to happen is because they had to figure out which card to play, and we had the complication that Italy was a NATO ally, okay? And so we have to be very, very delicate about how we went about doing this, okay? This is a very good sign because the fact that Italy has now arrested these people is an indication that those conversations have been completed and they've been productive, okay? So that's extremely relevant. They were also trying to figure out where this money came from because basically the 12 Phoenician families, right, who are in Venice, there's a whole thing that Charlie Freak talked about that. I held it lightly, but I've heard it confirmed from multiple people that at least that was true and that those families were taken out back in 2016. That was what Trump meant when he said cutting the head off the snake. He mentioned that in a speech a while back. That we already cut the head off the snake. The Rothschilds have surrendered. Okay. I've heard that the Queen and Trump have made a deal. I'm going to talk more about that. There's a really good conversation with Simon Parks and Charlie Ward who discussed this and actually put a piece together for me, because I was trying to figure out the whole deal with Brexit and why it was good, and also knowing on one hand that the Queen's not good, but also then seeing Trump with the Queen and seeing Trump walk ahead of the Queen, but seeing Trump and the Queen together and trying to figure out what was going on exactly. It's been very difficult to figure out what the story was with that. But basically, it's all connected because Britain is basically moving towards America, and I have some thoughts on that I'm going to share later on in the Periscope about where that's going. But you still, on the other hand, have the Prime Minister and all these fucking people. You have the Prime Minister, and I just got a text from one of my friends, by the way. He just said he's moving from San Francisco to Miami. So that wave started. But what crashed? What's going on? Periscope's crashing. Are you guys hearing me clearly? Is everything going okay? Is the signal going okay? Signal's good. All right, cool. So I'm going to talk more about that later on in the Periscope, but I just want to make the point that it's unraveling, and that the missing piece here is the Vatican. The Vatican is one of the last big players that hasn't fallen. Now, I know that people don't believe the Rothschilds have capitulated. Maybe they haven't. Maybe that information's incorrect. I have heard that from other people. I've heard that they bent the knee, so to speak. But they were trying to figure out where the money came from. The money came from the Vatican. The money also came from the Iran pallet deal. So, at any rate, but that is very big news, because that means a key part of the negotiations have been made, and it's an indication that there's going to be some big stuff dropping. Okay, please remember. Okay, please remember. Please remember that Trump has many cards to play. Okay, I know everybody feels like it's over, but we always knew that the military was an option. We always knew the military was an option. Okay, from the very beginning, because the military has it all. The military has it all, and Trump had to go through every one of these systems. Okay, I know I said it before, but I want to keep reiterating it so that you guys understand that just because the corrupt legal system failed does not mean that a fraudulent pedophile president is going to become president. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. It doesn't mean it's going to happen. There are too many good people who oppose this. Trump has spent the entire last 4 years preparing for this. You have to be fucking stupid. People always think that they're smarter than Trump. They think that Trump, do you know what they would do to Trump? There's all this stuff like Trump's guaranteed to win in 2024. Trump will not be alive in 2024. They will kill him. He will be in prison, or they would kill him. There are many people in the military industrial complex and some of the top brass of the military who are cabal and support the deep state. There are many parts that are not, and they have been that has been cleaved off. Okay, it's been cleaved off. There is a deeper level of the military. I know some of you guys used to follow an account called Majestic 12. Majestic 12 is a legitimate group, and Majestic 12, that account was a legitimate account. That was legitimately Majestic 12. Okay, it was legitimately Majestic 12. But Majestic 12, they were the ones that went behind Eisenhower's back with the ETs back in the 50s. They were a very bad group, and it flipped. Okay, it flipped. Majestic 12 was also the ones who commissioned Stargate. Okay, and point of all this stuff. All right, point of all this stuff. Why am I saying it? It's because Majestic 12 is now on the white hat side. They're on the white hat side. They've decided that it's time for the people to wake up. So there's a military-industrial complex, the cabal, but the cabal has been cut off from their funding sources. Their demons, who came out the feed on Christmas Eve 2016, got taken out. They got taken the fuck out. Do you understand that? They live in their little fucking tunnels. These demons live in their tunnels, but they came out for their regular Christmas feeding to try to counteract the good energy, and they got fucked up. We fucked them up. All right? So that was the head of the snake cut off. The Canaanites, Cain and Abel, right? The Canaanites, the Phoenicians, the Venetians, all these people who lived under cover, under pseudonyms, taken out. All right. From what I understand, Rothschild's bent the knee. Vatican is one of the last ones to fall. They're falling. All right. They're falling. So look, it's coming together. They have been waiting to play the right card. They have plenty of cards they can play. And yeah, there is going to be counter moves and counter moves, right? That's the way of the game. They fucked up things for us on the 6th, but we also took advantage of it. That's the thing. So we had a plan. They counteracted our plan, but we had a plan to counteract their plan, and we did. And what did we do? We had special operations forces there as well when Antifa did this stuff. And guess what? They scooped up Nancy Pelosi's laptop, which has information including the fact that her brother raped a kid. So we have a lot of really good stuff. And that's why she's freaking out. In part, they're freaking out also because their handlers want them to cut things off. They don't want the D-class. But that's one of the reasons that they're trying to get rid of. That's one of the reasons that they're trying to impeach Trump when he has just a couple of days left, because they're trying to stop him from doing anything that they possibly can. But guess what? Even if they could impeach him, even if they could get it together in time, it wouldn't matter anyway. It wouldn't matter anyway. Because they'd all get arrested immediately. They are only being allowed here because we're trying to figure out how to get rid of them without the least amount of damage. We want to make the birth as smooth as possible. They want to make it as rough as possible. But the baby's coming, guys. The baby's coming. Can't stop that baby from coming. This is a good question. It's a good question, Lincoln Hayes. And to be honest, I could try to speculate about why that's the case. You know, perhaps there was not an let me see here. Perhaps there was an expectation that Antifa would take these things and destroy the evidence. I've heard this as an explanation that Antifa was supposed to take the laptops, and Antifa was so that they wouldn't have, because they were going to get raided, and that was a reason for it. I've heard that. That's a possible answer. It's tough to say. I mean, we talked yesterday about the, now there's some stuff going on. People are saying that girl, Ashley Babbitt or whatever, has tweeted. I mean, there's a lot of weird stuff with that. There's a lot of smoke and mirrors, and it's very tough to know exactly what was going on. I can tell you that as I go through the footage of my experience there, and as I think back to it, I see a lot of things now that don't make sense. Right? I see a lot of things now that don't make sense. Actually, thank you for that comment, because that was another thing, that there was thank you. That's actually probably the answer, because the intention of this was they wanted to make it seem like Trump supporters took the Capitol and blew it up. That was going to be their false flag. They killed two birds with one stone. That would have been considered a massive terror attack. That would have given them all the justification to go after Trump supporters. And yeah, thank you. I forgot that piece, and that fits all together. The laptops wouldn't also really matter in that case, but special ops went in there and they took the laptops and they deactivated the bombs. Right? The RNC was supposed to blow up too. Remember, RNC was supposed to blow up and the Capitol was supposed to blow up. All these bombs were deactivated. So I'm very grateful, because it's nice not to die. So thank you, Trump, for being prepared. And thank you for taking care of these things. Thank you for saving my life. I appreciate that. Just another little extra layer of loyalty I have for the man. Which, by the way, and this is the thing that people don't get. They're like, it's a hero worship. You guys are just obsessed. You're blinded. It's just love and respect and admiration. That's what it is. If Trump told me I have to stay in my house and I have to take a vaccine, I would say fuck Trump. I would say fuck Trump. It's that Trump stands for individual agency. He stands for individual. He stands for our ability to make a choice. We're loyal to him because he is a hero, because he's a man who's standing up against evil. He's standing up for us to be free. That's it. That's all it is. Is these people and are worshiping literal pedophiles. And I've seen some of the images from this laptop, and it's bad, guys. I mean, it is it is literally, I don't know, 8-year old, 8 to 11-year-old girl in lingerie with Hunter Biden, right? With Hunter Biden. There's another one, and then there's another image, and the girl is really, really, I don't know if it's the same girl or if it's a different one, and she's like right up against him naked. You can't see her. You can't see her naked because of the way she's pressed up against him. It is disgusting. It's fucking disgusting. And you know what? If anybody in my family or friends group says, I can't believe you're doing this, when things heat up and they start to panic and they throw it at me, I'm just going to send them that picture. I'm going to say, you supported a pedophile. You like your fake president's pedophile son? Fuck you. Go fuck yourself. How dare you? How dare you? The amount of humiliation and shame these people are going to feel for years because they failed a crucial test of integrity. A crucial test of integrity. So look, let's talk about some other things here. Okay. We have some more information about another reason that the military is not going to give. Dr. Dynamis was banned. Damn, if Dr. Dynamis was banned, they're really going after this stuff. Maybe I got to be more careful. I mean, I'm not too far behind, but maybe you guys have noticed they're bleeding me of followers, guys. Bleeding me. I mean, I'm sure I know from engagement, I'm getting tons and tons of people. I don't even know what. I had to unprotect my account in part for that reason, because I would just like in a week I wouldn't even be an account anymore. Like everybody would have been gone. I need to fight against the current. Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable how fast they're bleeding me through. And I'm gaining people. And so I gain people, and then it's like they wash it. So I don't know. They could have like the button press for me to lose 500 a day or something like that. I mean, I don't know. So, um, so one of the reasons that the military is not giving Biden the nuclear codes is guess what? I mean, not just all the China stuff, right? You have to understand that you have the cabal military, but there's tons of patriots in the military and in the intelligence branch. Which, by the way, guys, people think that I don't actually know what people think, but my structure of 3D, 4D, 5D. Okay, 3D is very physical, 4D is very kind of mental, intellectual, and 5D is sort of like spiritual, right? And you as you go through higher up, I mean, they're more connected to 5D, upper 4D. Okay, in the military, the actual higher up positions, the positions that really dictate policy, it's military intelligence. Okay, I want you guys to understand, because people still think of the military as this kinetic force, and of course it is. They think of like the real power in the military is in weapons and shooting and explosives. No, it's not. It's not. The military is everybody who is actually in real control of the military is in military intelligence. Okay, the smartest people who enter the military go into the military intelligence route. They get drafted into psychological operations, and they move from there into classified departments that don't even exist on the public record. All right, so that is important to understand, because military intelligence knows what they did, and military intelligence controls the military fundamentally. Okay, so DIA is not giving it up. He did rebuild the military 100%. Yes, an amazing point, Jackson. So Trump has the military firmly in his corner, And even if he steps aside for optics, while military tribunals clean up the mess, he will fully be reinstalled. There's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. It's happening. It is happening, and they're trying to figure out the best plan. Okay, the best plan to do it. Now, one of the reasons that, just to further emphasize this point, and this is, I think, especially relevant for a lot of the Asian Americans here, is that, China Joe, right? How corrupted the Biden family in particular is with China. One of the agreements that the Bidens have with China is that well, Trump not getting the nuclear codes, right? Having the nuclear codes taken away from him, Biden having them, because they're going to give Taiwan to China. China will invade Taiwan and take Taiwan. So if you are Taiwanese American, if Biden's president, your country becomes under the control of the CCP. It's a fact. It's a fact. Muscle test that. You know it's true. You know it's true. Okay. Now, what also is true, apparently, I've heard, is that Iran would also be allowed to have a nuclear weapon. And Israel has said that they're not going to allow Iran to have a nuclear weapon. So you'd also have war, perhaps nuclear war, in the Middle East again. And yet you have these fucking retards who, like, oh, like, we gotta stop the wars, ignoring the fact that we haven't had any wars in 4 years. Still want Biden in the presidency, right? Still want him in. Trump can't be president. Trump can't be president. We need war around the world. Well, I don't want war around the world, but I just don't like the way Trump says things. Go fuck yourself. How about that? How about you fuck yourself? You are an intellectual and emotional child. But Trump, he's just not dignified enough to be president. Fuck off. Fuck yourself. That is the attitude we have to have to these people, because they are so low character at this point that you can present these things. Well, I bet you show that pedophile picture to people and they're going to say, that's not Hunter Biden. That's not Hunter Biden. Or they'll say, well, that's his son and he can't help his son. That's how, like, fucking stupid they are. That's how bad it's gotten. Zero credibility to talk about anything. Like, I'm just blocking them. Like, I'm gonna say, I do not want to see you. I do not want to talk to you. And because you failed serious tests of integrity. I just do not want you in my life until you humble yourself. You need to seriously humble yourself at this point. So guys, it's going to be biblical, as they say. It's going to be biblical. Now, again, I don't know if at the 11th hour we're going to have Trump installed as president. And fingers crossed that happens. I mean, installed as president on the 20th. Fingers crossed that's going to happen. I don't know if there's going to be the green screen, fake Biden presidency and the Trump presidency, or if there's going to be no president. If I have to go with my intuition, guys, honestly, I think we're going to have the green screen. Of those three options, I think we're going to have the green screen inauguration. I do not think that they are going to give up so easily. I think that they are going to push it as far as possible. But whatever. It's okay. So, all right, talking about this address tonight, there has been an enormous amount of chatter. I'm going to tell you guys what I've heard. And I deleted those tweets, by the way, right before this Periscope. I deleted them because I don't feel confident enough in them. The reality is that more than one account is going to be talking about the address at 7:00. That not just one account. And I don't know why. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have even retweeted it. I only had so much time to check it at first. And I heard from a couple people, yeah, it's going to happen. I'd heard so much corroboration that it's coming. I didn't watch the video, but I heard Donald Trump Jr. saying this, it's coming soon. I've heard multiple insiders say that, maybe he's going to be doing it on Newsmax. Maybe he's going to do presidential messaging system, but that the address is coming. Okay. So when I saw that, I was like, well, maybe I shouldn't have done it though. That was a mistake. Maybe he does go on at 7:00, but I don't know why this account knows it. I don't get why accounts do that. Yeah, Trump said big announcements soon. I don't get why accounts do that though. Why would they do that? It's just so bad for credibility. Like, just there's no point. But at the same time, I shouldn't have said it because maybe it's not true. Maybe it is true, but I don't know. I don't know. It's coming though. It's coming very soon. Don't stress about it. They're all very confident. They're all very confident. All right. You should be confident. And I think we feel a lot more confident today. I mean, not that I didn't feel confident yesterday. I just felt very angry yesterday because I have to be honest with you guys. I'm really sick of the manosphere. I'm sick of it. I mean, I know that there's other accounts who have been big, but aside from really like in my sort of circles, like Anthony Johnson, you guys can say whatever you want about Anthony Johnson, beach muscles, but he's been a fucking patriot. He's been standing by this stuff, right? He's been standing by it. Me and him have been lockstep with this. I've been, Noah Revoy, another great guy, George Bruno, but a lot of these guys have just been really weak on this stuff, really weak. And I'm just really disgusted. I have to be honest. I'm really disgusted. I just feel like, it really underlines, in my perspective, the spiritual rot. There have been people who have been complaining about the decline, how society's falling apart. They've been complaining about it for years. And we have a chance to actually completely change that, a chance to completely change it. And they don't care. They don't care to do it. They're leaning out. In some cases, they're demoralizing people. For what? So that they can look good? Be like, you guys were fucking stupid for having hope. No, like, fuck off. I hope that now, guys are really good people. I know them personally. I love them. And they could degree of humility from these people, right? I just want to hear some degree of humility from them. I want to hear an apology. To be honest, I want to hear an apology. Apologies. There's just not enough accountability. There's so look and like a great example, right? You have that you have that gay for pay guy, Cody Bra, right? Who everybody saw never accepted the bet, and then he has this audacity to come out. What is the point of this guy's life? Like, what is the point of his life? It's just fucking pathetic. These people are all so pathetic. And one of you guys messaged me, and I appreciate you doing that because I was like saying, just up the stakes with him. But you're right. Why do I even care about these people? Why do I even what's even the point of engaging with them? They're so gone. They're so gone. They really are a distraction. And after this is all over, they're done. I mean, a lot of them are really done because they are going to be so humiliated. They're going to look so pathetic. They have failed. They have failed the biggest test. Okay? This is the test. Everybody has these moments in your life as a man. You are tested. Okay? And the test is not just a physical test. Everybody, look, I'm lifting more than I've ever lifted before. And I know it's a new part of integration into my life, and I will continue to be doing it now where it's become important for me to do it. But I have to say that for all the shit in this community about like being a man and getting jacked and doing this and getting jacked, getting girls, making money, they have really fundamentally failed as men. They failed as men. They failed to protect their country. They failed to protect their people when the time came. I mean, can you believe that? How can you call yourself a man when you give up when that stuff happens? What were they expecting? How are they expecting this to go? Did they think it was going to be easy? Nothing else matters right now. I am so lucky. I have an incredible wife who loves me more for the fact that I'm here to stand up and fight for this stuff, to fight for our daughter, right? This is it. This is it. But the good news is that we're not alone, and we're on the right side of history. And this is not like a suicide. This is not a suicide run. If we had if it was one of those things where it was like we fight to the death right now and we had to die for it, so be it. I would be there. I know a lot of you would be there with me. We would organize, we would do what we had to do, and we would fight as we could fight, as long as the spirit was alive. But fortunately, it doesn't have to be that way. We have support from the military. We have support from very powerful people on the inside, and they are not going to let this go this direction. But what we have to do, we have to do two things, right? We have to be willing to act when the time comes. Like, I know I got caught up a little bit in the psyop, but I also, at the same time, me and all those patriots who were storming those Capitol steps, like, we need that energy. We need that willingness to be able to act. People don't understand, like, when in that moment, when you felt like the police had flipped and you felt like this was like it was something very powerful, and we need that energy to stay alive, so that when in the coming months, I think he probably did get locked up. Maybe they'll come after me. Probably not. I feel protected, but maybe they'll come after me. It doesn't matter. I'm happy to get locked up, guys. I would love to get locked up. I mean, I wouldn't love to get locked up, but I'm just saying I'd be if that's what it takes. Yeah, sure. Put me in prison. Go ahead, you fuckers. You want to make me into a hero? You want to make me into a hero? Put me in prison. Strike me down. I shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine. And that's the way it is with all of us. We need to be willing to make these sacrifices now so we don't have to deal with really big shit later. People have no idea how bad. My wife is Eastern European, okay? And, we know the stories of communism. We know what it was like. People who have been in communist countries know what it was like. No, we're not doing that. It's worse, and it's going to be worse than that. Because at least in communist countries back then, okay, you didn't have any economic opportunity and you couldn't have free speech. And I guess in Stalinist Russia, you got sent to gulags and stuff. But, I mean, they weren't forcibly giving you medication that was killing you. Like, this is going to be so much more worse. So much worse. So much. Ricardo, they're not gonna give me an option of bail. Bail money is the least of my concerns, but I love you, man. I love you. I appreciate that. You guys are great. You guys are so great. You guys keep my spirits up. I love you all. I mean, we've been carrying each other here, but they're not gonna win. They can't win. They can't win. And we would take the fight underground if we had to take it underground. There's no doubt. As long as we keep the flame alive. Keeping the flame alive. But right now, what we have to do is we have to spread the word. Remember, the battlefield is Twitter and Facebook. You spread the word there. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You spread the word there. You get taken out. You fall back to one of the other channels. And other people can continue to get information from you. I mean, this is the thing with Gavin and Parler, at least for now. Parler probably won't exist much longer. That's my feeling. I don't think Parler's going to exist much longer. But you have Gavin, Parler, and your orange would look good. What do you mean? You want me to? What do you mean? Orange what? You want to get orange shirt? You want me to get the orange hair? You want me to get the Trump orange hair? That there are great places to back channel, and when people get taken down, we can go back and we can find all those people on there, and you guys can take my message and message from other people, and you can continue to spread it. Right? You have to continue to spread it. That's it. We gotta keep holding the battlefield. They're just not gonna. They can't win the war. They can't ban everybody. They can't ban everybody for them to do it. Yeah, I'm not getting on Parler, and to be honest, I'm not getting on Parler because I don't trust Parler. I never trusted Parler because of how it was being pushed. There would be if Biden had won legitimately, then I would accept that he won, and my plans would be different. but he didn't win legitimately. I mean, we have 205,000 more votes than voters in Pennsylvania on the fucking record. Can you imagine the audacity that you can see on the official voting site that they have more votes than people who voted, and yet they call it election? I mean, and that's the thing. It's like these are stupid hypotheticals because Biden didn't win the election. Biden couldn't fill 6 hula hoop circles of people when Trump was getting 50,000 people at rallies. Biden got, I don't even know how many votes, probably 68 million. No, I wouldn't accept it. I wouldn't accept it. I'm going to block you because I know you're not in good faith. Um, it's absolute bullshit. I mean, and these people, like, it's like if Trump said this, I don't look at Trump. I look at the facts. If Trump said that, it's because maybe he took a deal and he was coerced. But I would never accept that happened. But Trump would never do that. That's the thing. When you understand someone's character and you understand, you can discern, we know that Trump is not going to accept a deal. We know that. We know that Trump is in this with us. He's in it till the end. He's in it till the very end. Like we are in it to the very end. And that's great because we always have that. And because we have that, we can keep fighting. If Trump betrayed us, I think we all have to be very honest. It would take a massive blow to our ego. Not our ego, well, maybe our ego, but the bigger thing would be it would take a massive blow to our hope. But we would pull it back together. It would be a harder fight because we would lose a lot of people in the process, and only those who we'd have to create a whole new reason based on this stuff. So Trump's been in 5D for a very long time. But look, I don't actually believe that everybody has a breaking point. I think everybody in 3D has a breaking point, and their breaking point's early. And I think maybe people in 4D have a breaking point. 5D, you don't have a breaking point. You don't have a breaking point because what would you break for? We understand that this is not the end, guys. It's not the end here. This isn't the end. This is just the beginning. This is just an experience that we have. We can, death is not going to, it's not the end. Death is not the end. There's so much more beyond death, guys. There's so much more beyond death. There's no reason to feel any fear when you know what. I watched my grandmother die. I was there while she died. I was there while I saw the life leave her. And there's more beyond this. There's more beyond this. And that's not a hypothesis. That's not a hope. That's a fact. So there's one last thing I want to talk about before I have to leave for dinner. Okay, we're just going to go real quick with this. Where all this stuff goes in the end. I want to talk just very briefly about what happens after this is all won with Brexit and the Queen and everything. Apparently, the big thing that the Queen wanted to preserve her legacy. Right? The Queen wanted to preserve her legacy. That was the most important thing. I understand that. I still think that some people in the royal family are going to have to go down, but fundamentally preserving the legacy of the royal family, I understand that. And apparently Trump was willing to make that deal. And that was one of the big things. The royal family will end its rule, however, as a requirement, I believe, of this. And effectively, what is going to occur next, I don't know I've heard a lot. The Commonwealth is dissolving. And I've heard that basically what we can expect to occur in the coming years is for the United Kingdom and the rest of the Commonwealth to effectively join the United States. Now, it's a renewed United States. The United States is going to be different, a little bit different. But this is going to be the beginning of sort of Atlantis 2.0 and the beginning of the new age. And eventually the entire planet is going to get absorbed into this. But from my understanding, the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth are going to be early ones that are going to come in. And this was one of the reasons that UK was being split off from Europe so that UK could be brought closer to America, but not just closer from like a trade relationship, but that the United States was actually going to ultimately expand in through the Commonwealth, and the power would move towards there. And eventually the entire world would join it, and that would be the basis of a planetary democracy. Well, not democracy, it's going to be a little bit different, but it's going to be closer to the United States Constitution, the global governance structure. It's going to be closer to the United States Constitution. So, yeah, other countries are going to declare their allegiance to the United States in a form. We're going to see how this plays out. The details of the timeline are hazy, but Magenta's talked a little bit about this, but some of the things that Simon Parks dropped really, I think, confirmed it for me. And also, you test it with your heart. We understand that there's going to be a global governance structure, but it can't be like the New World Order. It has to be more round table, and a structure like that could be it. So, guys, I don't know. I mean, I said I don't know. I don't know if the speech is going to be tonight, but we're all waiting in the same boat. But guys, that's enough. That's it for tonight. Got to go get dinner. We will talk tomorrow. There's going to be probably booms this entire week. I love you guys too. I love you all. You are all loved. We are all a family. And keep the faith, keep strong, continue to spread the light, continue to spread strength. See you.